So when we think about local at the Weather Channel, we look at our history. And actually, as much as I like data and technology, I was a history major. So if you go back 30 years ago, what made the Weather Channel unique wasn't national weather. It was local on the 8s, which I'm sure everybody that's watching in the States will remember. It was that ability to get your local forecast, where you live, from your cable operator. So that's always been the DNA of the company, and they actually created their own technology to be able to deliver that. And that's what really led to the full deployment of the cable network, because a cable operator could offer the local forecast, and if there's a severe storm, not only is that information and data, but it's actually a community service. And that's basically the DNA of the company. If you look out over time, you know, the next really insightful thing that they did was somebody had the good sense to reserve the URL, weather.com, back in 95 or 96, and knew that people would start to go to the web to get their local information or related to the weather. So what we've seen is that we're actually a website of 40,000 zip codes, right? So at the end of the day, we are hyper-local. Most people come in to get exactly the forecast where they live, which is most useful for them. And so that's essentially how we've evolved. It doesn't matter if you go to the mobile app, you're basically putting your zip code in for your local information. And we have great frequency, right? So you can basically come in the morning, come in the afternoon, you're looking at the radar. And so throughout the day, we mean something to people with that kind of coming back in and out. And from my old days on the media buying and planning side, there aren't many national places that you can go to buy local impressions the way that we can serve it and have the density around it, meaning kind of the reach and the scale. And so that's a really unique asset where you can actually call one company and have a local media plan. When I've been talking to marketers, the conversation has been, how do I write a media plan around the weather? The weather's local, it's dynamic, it changes, and for the clients and the categories, whether it be in fast food or home improvement or travel, they really should be writing local media plans around the weather to fully utilize what we have to offer. And so that's resonated because we can make it pretty easy to do that. We'll have some new things that we're releasing here shortly. So we're going to have self-serve tools where people can come out and buy our local inventory through a machine, which we're pretty excited about. We do have relationships now for the elections in terms of working with JumpTap, who's handling our, selling our inventory on a local level for the presidential election, as an example. We ran surveys in the swing states to actually see what the impact of weather would be on this year's turnout. So we're going to share that where you can actually get a sense for our read on if it rains, if the weather's not so great, who's likely to win this year's presidential election. So I'm sure we'll widely release it to the media outlets. But that's how we're using the data, and I thought that it was pretty important that we were able to use our own data when we go and see the marketers to see how we're actually using it for forecasting and something that we could all relate to. So we had a little fun with it too.